know what else we don't have?
What?
We don't have any theme music.
You want me to make theme music?
Don't you want theme music?
Yes.
Don't you?
No.
Don't you? Don't you? You don't want theme music?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
You make the theme music.
I'm not gonna sit over here. You can slide this way a little bit though. All right. The boy wants to talk gaming again. This is gonna become a thing, I think.
Yeah.
So, since you want to talk about the gaming, what do you want to talk about? Do you have something to talk about?
Yes.
Okay, what have you been playing?
Okay, I played some more For Honor because I wanted to progress in the story and, get better. I haven't really gotten better, but I have progressed in the story.
So you've gotten further and you're still shitty.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And now I'm to a point where I really just can't beat this one thing, and it's ridiculously hard and makes me want to throw my controller.
Okay, so get better.
Like Cuphead levels.
Is it open worldy, or do you have to do
No.
things? You're on rails.
You have an objective.
No, but are you on rails? Like you can't you can't go to the next thing without beating this thing. You cannot go away from it.
No, you can't do that. It's not open world. It's almost like you're in an arena with certain paths that you.
So what's your problem? I thought you were like the super RPG man.
What? No.
Doom, all those. I thought you were just super RPG man. You're just Mr. FPV or FPS.
What was the V?
First person view.
Oh.
FPS. I thought you were Mr. First person shooter.
Yeah, but For Honor is third person.
So you're saying that you're not good at it because it's third person?
No, I'm not good at it because I'm just not good.
Assassin's Creed is third person.
Yes, it's similar to Assassin's Creed.
But
you're not
but
as
you're
not
in
as
open
fast.
world. But you're not in open world though.
No, but the movement and the combat, it's kind of similar.
It's not turn based, is it?
What do you mean?
Turn based combat?
No.
That's the worst. They should have never have made anything with turn based combat.
No, it's not turn based combat. It's. I mean the combat is just it's slow sometimes.
That's it? Yeah, that's why you're not good at it, because combat is slow?
It's difficult because
you should play Fortnite.
I don't like Fortnite. I have Fortnite. I played it. And it sucks.
That's the answer that all of my students would give you for all of your woes about any game is you should play Fortnite.
Because I went and played For Honor and I got to that part where I can't beat this one character. And I got so upset that I just went and played Doom. And just started ripping faces.
Doom is a good stress reliever.
Yes, because it worked. I only played like 10 minutes of it and I was good.
Once you put your face through things and stomp on people's heads and put your knees through bodies and do that just for a few minutes and all the stress is gone. It's like playing drums.
Yeah, it's especially because the controller vibrates every time you do something, so
you get some feedback.
Yeah, you get that feeling of I just exploded that guy's face.
So you've been playing For Honor.
Yeah,
and getting thoroughly frustrated with it. What else have you been playing? Anything else?
The original Tomb Raider. I played some of that. I was actually playing it before I came up here.
And?
That's kind of difficult too. Because the puzzles are really hard.
Actually, the puzzles are not really hard. The thing is, I think the control, based on looking back from today, the controls are not as easy, so then it makes doing everything a little more difficult. Yeah. But the actual puzzles are actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
But
sometimes
games don't have puzzles like that anymore.
Right.
So that's the difference.
I think
is
the only
gameplay is not the same.
The only thing that's closest to that kind of puzzle is Doom.
No, I would think that The Witness is closer to the puzzles that are in
No, because you're not doing anything physical. You're doing like a literal
yes,
puzzle.
But the physical, but that's what I'm saying. The puzzles that are in The Witness are as difficult as the puzzles in Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
It's just you're doing the puzzles differently, but you're still the idea of the way the puzzles are structured. You're moving through the world and having to solve these problems, and you've only essentially got one way to solve them.
Yeah.
You don't have another, like you can't do a workaround. You can't go a different direction. You can't do it a different way. You've got to do it the way it was designed in those early Tomb Raider games, just like in the early Doom games.
And something I found out, which is kind of frustrating. Sometimes there are multiple puzzles in an area, and once you finish, it just led you to like a med pack or like ammo, and it's like, okay,
you
so
open a
then
door.
Where do I go?
Yep. That's part of the puzzle.
And then when you open the door to the next area, you're like, okay, that is progress. Why can I go up over the progress to get over there? What's over there? And then you can't find out how to get over there.
I'm telling you, it was
doing
game
the
design of the day.
And the controls in the right sequence, that's sometimes difficult. Because, like, some parts you have to grapple. And you have to, like, run, jump, and in midair you have to hit Q to then grapple. And then you have to swing and make sure you're... Yeah.
This was the reason, I think, in those early games when... And I'm calling them early because Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider was kind of groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But the idea of being very good with the controls, but the controls were your computer, and then the console people had all those other buttons and those other ways of controlling things and ways of maybe changing their controller to make it easier for them to achieve those feats.
Yeah, I looked, and I don't think you can change the, like, keys and stuff of Tomb Raider.
Maybe not in the first one. But see, that's just it. Controls. That's where you end up with this big split. Yeah. Consoles, PCs, because you end up with this thing where I've got a controller and I can control, Lara this way, and you're sitting there with your keyboard and you're controlling, and you've gotten good at it, and you've both become equally good, but you can't do the other one.
Yeah. And
so now you can go with your Windows PC with your, Xbox controller and never use the keyboard and mouse for anything difficult. Although and you can be like a console, but with the power and the graphics of your computer.
Because, like, Cuphead, that's not a mouse and keyboard kind of game. Even though you can do it.
I would say it is for people who like mouse and keyboard.
No, it's almost like Hitman. There's so many. The buttons are in kind of like weird spots, and you have to like keep moving.
Yeah, but
and it's like no.
But see, some people that is exactly what they do.
I don't want to do that because don't even. Let's not even talk about Hitman.
I'm telling you that it's a weird thing because I would say that there are people out there that play a lot of games and they use mouse and keyboard exclusively when using their laptop or their computer.
Yeah.
And they absolutely swear by this is the best way to play the game. And me, if I've got to do anything that is by touch, keyboard becomes no good for me. If it's got to be by touch, like I cannot look down. So like I'm playing Assassin's Creed. If once I learn the button, once I learn what the button does, I don't need to look at it ever again. Yeah. But when you're playing with a keyboard, sometimes you do need to look because your finger went to the wrong place. And you brought up a debug console or something, you know what I mean? It's like, oh.
You know
and now you're getting killed because now you're trying to find where your finger had gotten off, and now you got to undo whatever you did, and the thing is still happening to you.
What helps with that?
That's no good.
Overwatch, because you kind of can't take your eyes off the screen, so you just put your fingers in the right position because there's no sprint or anything, and you don't really have to hit the numbers at all. You just have to hit Q, E, mouse, and shift, and then the spacebar, WASD. That's it. That's like all you have to do, and you can change it. So like if you're gonna do the voice chat, like I changed it to F because before it was T or something, and I couldn't get there, so I just changed it to another button. But Overwatch definitely helps with the hand-eye coordination, with looking at the screen and
that's
knowing
not hand-eye coordination. Hand-eye would be looking at the keyboard. Your hand goes where your eyes see. That's hand-eye coordination.
Where the opposite of that, whatever that's called, it helps with that.
It's called muscle memory.
Yes. It helps with that. Because like when you play Subnautica,
but see, in Subnautica, nothing is happening all that fast that you can't look down.
Right. You can always,
even if you're being attacked, you can look down.
Yeah, you can always be like, okay, I'm gonna put it in 3.
Speaking of Subnautica, you've been playing some Breathedge.
I played a little bit.
Come on,
you played way more than.
Come on, you know you're loving the Breathedge.
You progressed way more than me.
Breathedge is in early access. It's like the 2018 version of Subnautica.
No,
it is.
No. Breathedge is.
You get your condom and you're good to go.
I haven't found a condom yet.
You get your condom and you fill it full of air and you work. It's awesome.
I haven't found it yet.
It's out there.
I
told you. You just got to find the people.
Yeah.
The people have condoms next to them.
But I made the oxygen station. I made that so I can go further out, and I can't.
Breathedge is in space, whereas Subnautica is in
underwater.
water.
Yeah, so you can't.
But see, underwater means you can always just come right back up, no matter where you are, unless you're in the deep, deep part of the game. You can just go up and you're in fresh air and you're fine.
Yep.
But whereas in this game, you can't do that at all.
Nope.
You're once it starts telling you that your oxygen is running out, that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Yep.
You gotta get your ass back to someplace else that has oxygen. Now there are areas and there's ways of making oxygen, like putting big balloons out there that you can access. Yeah. So you put them out far away, which I've been doing. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Apparently there's going to be a way to do decorating and stuff like that in the game, but I don't know where that's going to happen.
Yeah, because I don't
you're
see
stuck
a
in this
purpose
one
for
small.
that.
Well, if you can make things, like if you can do like you do in Subnautica and make a base, if you can make it from scratch. Because you have all this scrap all around, because you're surrounded by your own exploded ship. Mm-hmm. So if you can actually take things from that ship and make stuff because you...
Yeah, like make a base over there where you can just get in, get some air. And
exactly.
Now, that would be super useful.
It would be useful.
That was the whole purpose for the base building in Subnautica. That's the reason.
You have to do it in Subnautica,
and the vehicles and all that. And
yeah, you can't, because I don't know... If you're in Subnautica and you don't have a large vehicle that can go deep, you're never going deep.
No, not really.
Without bases. Without being able to go down and get to the edge of whatever your oxygen happens to be and then getting into a base.
Yeah.
Getting air again to then go down further or further away or whatever and then going to another base. Without doing that base hopping thing, you kind of... won't ever get there. You'll need a suit or a vehicle or something. But in this game, you need something because you're gonna keep running out of air, and you can build like I've made a ton of those
oxygen candles.
Well, yeah, and that hooks you up.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you went out and your thing got to the point where you needed it, most likely if you kept going. And then you try to turn around and come back, you don't have enough oxygen to get back. Which means you need like 2 of those things to get back to that one thing. So now I've learned to like create a path.
Yeah.
I go out and now have a path to get back, which is bouncing from oxygen station to oxygen station to the thing that's down below me that has oxygen all the time in it. And you can just jump in there and just sit there because you can get from one to the next. Breathedge is
quickly.
Chickens. That's all I gotta say.
They need to have an animation or something to make it easier to get back into your ship. Because trying to line that up and you bouncing around.
I've lined it up. I'm so good at it now. I can, because when there's a thing that makes you move faster.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that yet.
So when you're moving fast, all you have to do is stop. Just get off the gas, and you float back at the door, and the door opens up in the right speed, and you just float on in. Float on.
Yeah, but coming like up or coming from a side or something.
Oh yeah, you have to time it right.
It's like no, just make it so that I have to hit E or click it, and then he does an animation where he just goes in, and I.
But you know what? That becomes a pain in the ass too, because then you're like, why can't I just go in? Just let me go in.
Yeah, but
the very thing
you have to click on it.
Well, see, in this you have what is it called? What is it called when you have a door to the outside?
The airlock.
You're right. In this one you have an airlock.
Yeah.
Whereas in Subnautica there is no airlock.
No, but at least you just open the hatch and go in.
Yeah, but if you did that for real, all the water would come in with you.
Okay. It's a video game.
Well, that's my point. See, if in Subnautica and in Breathedge, both of them need airlocks, but then if you have an airlock, allow you to come to that door and, like you said, just hit a button and then you just go in.
Yeah.
Would be cooler than you're floating in and
now I'm bouncing around and dying because I can't get in this small hole.
I think the thing that I learned about Breathedge so far is just keep your health high.
Yeah.
Because then you don't fight getting in. Just your health has to run all the way down for you to die anyway.
Right.
So it's kind of like extra gasping air or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I played some of The Witcher. I finally went into it and played. And
that new game.
When did that come out? I don't remember when The Witcher.
The Witcher came out either 2016 or 2017.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I should be more specific. The Witcher 3. Because I never played 1 and 2.
The Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Come on, give it to the people. Oh, you're enjoying it thoroughly. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. It's it kind of felt like similar to For Honor to me, because and something weird about the combat is like when you're fighting something, it seems like everything else does way more damage than you.
FYI, The Witcher 3 came out in 2015.
Oh, okay. So the new game.
That's so funny.
It seems like the enemies all do way too much damage and you can't do enough. So the fights are just way too long.
What are you talking about? You talking about The Witcher?
Yeah, in The Witcher.
Man, please.
Because I like...
I'm not down with any of that.
What?
In The Witcher, the whole idea of the way you fight in The Witcher is you have to learn how to control... You really have to control him. You have to learn all the stuff that happens at the stuff that you forget when you don't play it for a long time. You've got to go back and go through that kind of tutorial thing of how to fight, and then the fights are like super easy. Like not easy, but they're like you have lots of tools at your disposal. That's the problem I'm having with Odyssey right now. Is there's so much that you can do, and I haven't even gotten into the tree of abilities yet. I'm just doing the basic stuff, but it's like you can hit a button and all of a sudden a whole new menu comes up on the bottom corner and you're like, oh, I can hit this button to do this thing, I hit this button to do that thing, because I opened up that menu. If I don't open up the menu, I just, hack and slash. It's like, yeah, it's very, very different. But The Witcher is one of those games where you can, it's not like choose a weapon and then go fight with it. And then, I'm going to choose another weapon. No.
I mean,
you can choose a weapon, but then you've got abilities, and then you've got spells, and you've got all this other stuff that you can then go in and take out
like
stuff. Yep.
Stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
2015, The Witcher. I still haven't finished that game. I've done a lot in it, but
Yeah, because I went and played. I don't know how long I played for. Either was it Friday? I think Friday. I don't remember how long I played for, but I played a good portion of it, and I didn't know. But you get to play as Ciri.
Huh?
You get to play as her.
Where? When I haven't played as Ciri yet.
You go to her father. He says, "Go look for her," and then when you leave there, that's where I had stopped when I played on your computer. That's where I stopped. I didn't play anymore. But after that, you go to like a small village, and the sort of like king or lord there, she came to him and got some food and stuff and then left. But you play as her before she gets there. And you have to fight a werewolf.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, so I didn't know, and it's very short. It's a very short little thing. But she doesn't have, like, you know how the main guy, like, he can shoot the fire.
Geralt.
Huh?
Geralt.
Yeah. He has the fire spell. He's got all the magic
Spells.
stuff. She has none of it.
She's not a Witcher.
I think she was a Witcher in training.
Right, she's not a Witcher though.
Right. And her like
makes sense.
Her dodge is like it's like a dash. So you just pick a direction and just
get out of the way.
Zoom over there. I actually like playing with her more because I don't know, something about her controls it's easier. It's actually more fun because she's like very fast and spry, and you can kind of just move all over the place.
Well, that's just like
never get hit.
In Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins, when you're fighting with what's his name?
Bayek?
His wife. She has different things.
I got to the part where you're doing the boat thing.
Yeah, but there's times when you're running around as her.
Yeah, I never got there.
Yeah. There's at least a couple of them where you actually have to fight with her, and she doesn't have any of this. It's like Ciri. She doesn't have any of the other stuff that Bayek has accumulated over the time. Right. But because her controls are simpler, then you can kick ass better.
Yeah.
You're not hindered by, I could do this thing.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. Because that was one of the problems I had, like, when me and Keegan would play, like, Mortal Kombat and stuff. Because I had played through the story and learned all the stuff of different characters. I was always like, I want to do this move, and she's just button mashing, killing me over and over and over again. Because
the button masher always wins.
Right, I'm trying to do moves, and she's just trying to kill me.
You're trying to do moves, and she's kicking you in the face.
Right.
Apparently, that's the thing I've been doing for the last 2 days. I finally started up the Odyssey.
You haven't started.
I'm in Greece.
Tomb Raider.
I haven't started the Tomb Raider yet. I'm in Greece.
And it's more difficult, you said.
It is. Yeah, the stuff that you could do in Origins and the leveling up and the getting ability points and all that stuff and getting to the point where you could look at an area and be like, oh, that's a 9 and I'm a 5 right now, and I could just get to a 9 pretty quickly and go into that area and fight. Yeah, you can't do that in this game. This game is not. It feels far more difficult. Plus, you can steal.
Yeah, I saw that.
And people say things like they react to the fact that you're stealing.
In Origins, it was just like barrels over there. Okay, walk over, loot. And one would say anything.
But see, the funny thing about that is loot as a noun is stuff like booty, like
Yeah.
treasure.
Yeah.
But loot as a verb is stealing.
True. But no one would say anything.
Right. In the game, you're not really stealing. You're just taking what is there. But in this game, you've got the white ones, loot, and then the red ones, steal. And if you steal, they say, "Hey, you stole that. I saw you. Put that back."
Yeah,
I don't know how you would put it back though.
Because in Origins, you could just walk up to like
Anything,
an
anywhere.
area and you could straight up just destroy it if you wanted to.
Yeah, but it's very weird, and you can destroy boats and get the wood. You can go. You know how in The Witcher, how certain plants are out there, and you have that in this game.
Really?
There's metal that's on the ground that you can pick up. Yeah, you can craft arrows. You can craft.
Well, I know in
Well,
Origins
you can craft. Yes, there is crafting in this game.
In Origins, can you craft arrows? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I thought you.
I might be.
I don't think you.
Primal.
I don't think you crafted the arrows in Origins as opposed to you
Just keep finding.
they're in the world and you just go over to the stands and you get new arrows.
I'm thinking of Far Cry Primal because in Primal you could pick up some sticks or whatever and go into your like weapon wheel and craft everything in that weapon in the weapon wheel.
You can.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah,
that.
the stuff in Odyssey, there's a reason why these people went to sea because their land sucks. Running around is not like in The Witcher you could run from here to there. It's essentially flat.
Yeah,
Same thing
but it sucks.
with Origins. You could
sucks
kind
to
of run
do.
around your deserts. I mean, it's mostly flat. It's like hills, but not mountains. Man, in Greece sucks. This is why now you know why they had city states. Because nobody was going over there, man. It's like we live here and we're gonna stay here. We're gonna make right here work for us because going over there is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And I noticed
It's like living in Phuket. I'm not going over that. I'm not going over the mountain.
I don't want to go over the hill.
And I'm not walking around it.
Right. I noticed something with the riding your horse, like The Witcher versus like Origins. In The Witcher, it's such a hassle to ride your horse because if you snap to a road and you're just holding A or whatever and you're just going, you can see on the map I have to go this way and then the horse will just do like this and go somewhere else.
Oh, they just follow the road.
Right,
Yeah.
but in Origins you can say go to the marker.
Yes, but it's go to a custom marker.
I don't know, sometimes it'll go to the objective too.
Right.
Like your story objective
Right.
or whatever.
Exactly.
And they'll
But that's a marker.
right, and I've gone and said go to the marker, and I've watched my horse go from the road, cut off, go into a field and like farmland and just
Which game?
in Origins. That I've watched him cut off the path and just jump over stuff and just run through like forest.
Because I've never. I mean, if they're on the road and there is a road,
Right, if there's a road to it's
they
more
follow the
convenient
road
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now in Odyssey, which is kind of interesting,
Do you have horses in that?
there are, and you get to choose your horse.
You get to switch out your
No,
mounts all the time.
choose your horse. At the very beginning of the game, you go with your friend. We'll call him a friend. If you've played the game, you know he's not a friend, but friend. You go with your friend, and you tell him that you need a horse because it's too far to walk that over there.
Okay.
And he takes you to a stable, and there's 3 horses in there, and he tries to dissuade you from the horse that you want to get. Like, that horse has got a problem. You sure you want that horse? And you have to be sure. And when you choose it, that becomes your horse.
You can't switch them out.
No. You can jump on any other horse in the world, like you can in Origins. But
in Origins, you could like go from a camel to a horse and a horse to a camel.
No,
and
but you're
switch
just.
out your mounts.
But you're the ownership of the horse.
Oh.
That ownership, that's your first horse. Okay, and then if you like, I think I have 2 that I can switch back and forth between. But that's in the menus. But in the game, you can just have a horse over there and just go get on that horse and go. Yeah.
I think that was one of the last things I did in Origins was I got the perk that was like horse jacker or whatever, where you could just run up to someone and just pull them off the horse.
Right. Pull them off the horse and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the whole skill tree that's in Odyssey is pretty
ridiculous.
It's big. It feels way bigger than the one in Origins. The one in Origins, I like.
Yeah, but it seems like with Odyssey, even in like the trailers and stuff, it seemed like they went and they were like, okay, we have Origins, that's pretty good. Let's just make it absolutely ridiculous and add way more stuff to it.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Put it in a different area.
And put it in Greece.
Right. Because, like, all the expansions and stuff and the updates they were talking about.
Like in Origins, when you would do the crazy swan dive thing off of stuff. God, that thing sucks. And you go jumping off of things.
That's the problem, though.
And you know that the leap of faith is a thing that he makes people do.
Who?
Bayek.
He makes people do that?
Yep. There's a moment in there where you're running around and there's a girl that's trying to help an area. I just did this in Origins not that long ago. And she's running around. She's basically doing the job of the assassin or the magi. Mm-hmm. She's doing that job, but she's not any of those things. Oh. And so he goes... Yeah, and she's helping the people in a town. And Bayek comes, helps her, and then recruits her into the assassins. And when he does, he takes her up and he says, all you have to do is take a leap of faith, and jumps off a thing. And then she has to jump. She has to decide to jump off or not. And she jumps off, and she's just as scared as you are because you're like, oh my God, where are you going to jump off to?
That's the thing. Is like,
the leap of faith.
Where am I going to end up? But the fact that you can do it, you know that you're not gonna die.
I don't know.
Well, because that's like you can go to any high place
and jump off.
No, you can't, because there's not always a thing for you to land in. But
that's
like
right.
at the end of an outpost or something, you get to the top of a tower or out on a limb, and it says jump off, and you're like, what are you talking about? And you end up in hay.
That's the other thing is the hay bale in Origins. You hit it, you go fall inside of it, and you stay. In this one, you automatically jump out of it. So you go poof, bink, and you come right back. You don't have to hit a button. You just come right out of it.
Sucks because
you can't hide.
Yeah,
you're not gonna hide in it.
Like I think one time I was being chased and I ran out and jumped off, and they like totally were like, okay, he's probably dead now. And I was just in the hay. So
yeah, I don't know what the thinking behind that was. Maybe it was because honestly, you're not running to the top of Zeus's thunderbolt and jumping. You're not going to be running away from a thing and jumping off that into a hay. You're just not going to do it.
Right.
So Odyssey is interesting. I'm not looking forward to any boat stuff. The boat stuff in Origins was it's like something you have to do, but something you don't really want to do, and it's like kind of a pain in the ass to do it.
Yeah.
But there's like 3 different, you know how like you could have the main quest and then a side quest? There's a third one in this game.
Third?
It's like main quest. They don't have those names. One of them is called Odyssey, which is like the main quest. Then there's a side thing, but then there's personal or something like that. It's like your character, things that your character can do.
Huh.
And I guess it's based. It's like maybe it's, think of it more like main quest, side quest, and maybe side quest. That's kind of how you have to look at it. Like, it's like a thing that you can do, but maybe it doesn't lead to another thing. Maybe it's just the one-off type quest. But yeah,
I've never known a game to have a third option.
It's got a third option, and it's got mercenaries that are hunting you.
Right. That
which
are like the equivalent.
they're
of
like the
phalanx.
right. They're like those guys in Origins, but those guys in Origins are not as smart. Whereas the ones in Odyssey,
Yeah, in
they're
Origins,
very
you can kind of
smart.
get away from them and like avoid them pretty.
The dude even yelled at me for running away from him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys always run away. It's like, dude, yeah, of course I do. You're
you trying
level
to kill
5
me.
and I'm a level 2. Of course I'm going to run away.
trying to kill
What
me.
else can I do? What the instructions at the beginning that tell you about mercenaries tell you to run away. Like you're not going to beat them. You're not going to win. So run away.
That's awful.
Come back later when you're leveled up. Seriously, it actually says that, and it's now got inside of the menus. Mercenaries are there like those in Origins. You know the different pharaohs or whatever, the different people,
Oh, really?
and they're in that big area. Or no, in the Mordor game where it was like they put all the things
really?
in there, and they're kind of they're connected.
Yeah, they're all connected.
Imagine that they're not connected, but they're all in that way.
Oh, they're in like okay.
That's how it looks.
I haven't played that in a long time either.
Yeah, I just deleted that game
Really? Why?
because I wasn't playing it, and
Oh,
why
no, I was
keep it?
playing it.
Why keep another game? I had to go through. This is the problem of having more than 100+ games on Steam. Is you install a game that then you don't play the game, and then it just sits there and taking up space. So I created space by getting rid of a ton of. At least 10 different games that I had installed. I got rid of all the portals and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I got rid of Portal because I'm not playing this.
If it's
I've beat it several times.
right, if it's finished, it's finished.
And played the multiplayer with you and finished that story.
And I didn't even play Portal 2.
Oh, you did.
I only played the combo, the two of us playing. I never played the thing by itself. Oh God, she's over there making stuff.
You started the first one, didn't you? The first Portal, you played some. You played.
I played a lot of that.
Right, because I remember.
Better watch out. Your mother's over there making artwork.
Oh God.
Always scary when mommy artwork is going. What is that character you've got on there? What is that?
This?
Yeah.
That's one of my.
Why is that on
Things
our
for
Twitch
December.
chat thing?
I don't know. I was looking for a piece of art that would
It's not gaming related.
I know.
I have no idea.
I think we need to make it. See, this is why we don't let mommies do Twitch talk art.
Yeah.
The characters are cool though.
Maybe I'd switch out your little picture.
Yeah, just look up a picture of Assassin's Creed or something. And throw that in there. What was I talking about? Oh, I remember playing all of the first Portal, which was surprisingly short because I think I played it all in a night. In just a couple hours, I played all of that, and then I don't know how long it took me to finish Portal 2. That took me significantly more time. Cause
I mean, Portal is cool if you feel like a puzzle game, but that's same as The Witness. If you feel like a puzzle game, you know.
And technically, you have beat Portal 1 and 2 because I played it on your computer.
Yeah, but it doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, but you got all the stuff for it.
There is
so
no stuff.
technically
There's no stuff.
I know, but you
Because it's so old that even Switch doesn't, or Steam doesn't deal with any of the stuff anymore.
But it's still Valve.
I know, but they don't like all the stuff that would have been there, the achievements and all that. None of that stuff matters.
Yeah. I've played all of Portal 2 twice. Because I beat it on your computer and then beat it on mine.
What else you got for the people about what you've been? You got anything else that you need to get off your chest? Anything that's killing you? I got to start that new Tomb Raider that came out in October. Steam sale, man. Steam sale. That's all I can tell you.
Wait on the Steam sale.
And right now it's
Especially
still going.
Right, especially when an entire franchise is on sale.
You buy it.
Like all of the old Tomb Raiders are 10 and 11 pesos each. So,
You buy it.
Yeah.
You get it.
And the bundle for all of them and you get all the Tomb Raiders and all the DLC for the new one.
I want to say that the new
In a bundle.
Odyssey came with Assassin's Creed 3.
Really?
Yep.
3 is...
It came with...
Isn't 3 Black Flag?
No, I don't think so. But it might be. But it came with 1, I think. One of the games it came with.
Oh.
Kind of like what Far Cry... Far Cry did it?
Yeah,
Did Far Cry do that?
Far Cry 5 came with Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
And I haven't played Far Cry 3. I played a little bit at the beginning and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Did it seem really hard?
No, it was just boring. It was like... It was just... It wasn't more difficult than Far Cry 5. But it wasn't as difficult as Far Cry 5.
Really?
Yeah, it was easier. And it was like, okay, I'm in a car. That's nice. I have a vehicle. I drove over to this outpost place. I can either be sneaky or just kill everyone. I did that in like 2 minutes, and it's like, okay, tutorial over.
All right, so as
But
far
there's
as gaming
a
is
different
concerned,
thing in Far Cry 3 for the multiplayer, it's similar to Portal. They made a completely different story for the multiplayer, which seemed more interesting.
and I still got to finish the zombie mode, and
Oh yeah, I beat that a long time ago.
I haven't finished the zombie mode. I'm still in the cemetery. But the big game. This is the big game. The big game of the weekend.
Which is
Black Mirror, Bandersnatch. And Bandersnatch is in Alice in Wonderland,
isn't it?
but Bandersnatch is not in Alice in Wonderland the books. It's
in the
talked
movie.
about, but it's seen and it shows up in the films.
It's that big like cat
Yes,
thing, isn't
that's
it?
the Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
Bandersnatch, Black Mirror Bandersnatch is, you might as well call it a game.
Because it's like that. It's a.
All I can say is if you got Netflix, you should watch it and make your choices.
You can do it on the iPad because Keegan did it.
Keegan did it on the iPad.
Yeah, she did it.
Yeah.
And when she was finished watching it, she was like, I don't know how to feel right now.
She got to places that I did not get to.
Oh, so it does lead to different places then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I went to places that she didn't go to.
Oh, so you have to do it multiple times. Oh, that kind of sucks. See, I thought it was a thing.
Because she had the credits roll on her, and I never saw the credits.
Oh.
And she saw stuff that I didn't see, and I went to things because I kept going around in a loop, and you can make different choices, and basically you can kind of like, I never ended. Like it got to an
stuck.
No, there was no stuck. It just didn't end, and things changed, and it starts to freak you out. But she got the stuff.
I might have to just.
So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of worth watching and experiencing it because it gets real gamey real quick. Like you start making choices and you're like, yeah, okay, I made this choice. Like, so what?
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh shit, and then it becomes like, wait a minute, why do I have to make this choice? Like, why you didn't give me a good choice? And yeah, you start getting angry at the choices you have to make. Cause it's like a choice like kill your cat or kill your dog. I don't want to do either one. You know, it's yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very gamified. And the thing is, the guy in the thing in the story is making a game. He's making a video game that is a choose your own adventure video game. And
Speaking of killing dogs, have you played any more of Wolfenstein
no,
since we left?
no, I haven't gone back to Wolfenstein. I'm still we had an issue where Wolfenstein, you were playing it, and then for some reason the save didn't work right, and then I got so far in it, like I beat the first section, and then all of a sudden I had to start over, and it pissed me off, and I started over, and it was just like, I don't want to go through all this shit again, and so I just said I haven't gone back. That's kind of the problem with Wolfenstein. It wasn't the game. It was more about the save problem that we had.
Yeah.
Somebody's calling me.
Who is it?
Wait a moment. Hello?
Yeah, that was Mommy's prediction. That was Mommy's prediction that someone was delivering a package and they needed directions.
Yeah, they need directions. Okay, back to you guys. Now that my glasses are all cool, I look like crazy. What is that called? Ray Charles up in here. You look like Ray Charles. I need the piano.
Oh, yeah, it's way darker on camera because I can see your eyes here.
You got the right one, baby.
Okay.
All right. Do you have anything else for the Twitch people?
What were we talking about before you got the call?
I do not remember. I'm still trying to breathe because I remembered that you guys were still recording. Did you tell them anything while I was gone?
No. I didn't. So you have a nice blank. You have a nice blank space in there. I asked Mommy what was for lunch.
Really? What's for lunch?
Leftovers.
Anything? Oh God, no. That's not gonna work for me. That was breakfast.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
I don't think I have.
anything else for the?
I don't.
Is it what are you gonna play this week? What are you diving into? What is your goal for this week? Anything?
Black Flag.
You want to do Black Flag?
Yeah, I got it because it was on like a super sale.
Yeah.
So I got it and I haven't played it yet.
Black Flag.
And I've heard a lot of I don't think I've heard a bad thing about Black Flag. Like, I want to say it's like the third or fourth, but I can't remember.
I think so.
And I've heard a lot of people talk about it as like one of the best Assassin's Creed ever.
Yep.
So I was super curious about it. So I watched a little bit of it when we were in China before I got my computer. And now that, the winter sale is happening, the whole franchise was on sale, so. But I have no interest in the side-scroller ones.
Black Flag is the only one that has slave.
Yeah.
It has the slavery storyline and.
That's one of the DLC things.
Yep.
Syndicate was interesting though. That's the one I played where you had to log off and I had to log on and you got all the stuff for it. That's the one I started playing because you have almost all of them.
I do.
And they're only 2 of them are installed.
True story.
Which is terrible. So I started playing Syndicate, and Syndicate was interesting. Because, like I was saying before, you play as a brother and sister. You go back and forth between both of them. And I think they have different weapons, and I believe they had different abilities. But when I played, I didn't get very far. I got past the first part where you learn both of their moves, and then it basically goes into it's the 4th one. Black Flag is.
It is. There's Assassin's Creed 3.
But I got past that first part where you learn both of their moves, kill 1 or 2 guys, and then you're on to the next part in the story.
Well, like I said, I told you this morning. I'm gonna tell you again, for the people. You need to watch the video that goes through the history of the whole thing because aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens.
No.
You want aliens in your Assassin's Creed? Trust me.
Yes,
you do.
I feel like it's unnecessary.
Aliens, Templars, aliens.
Did they ever put Watch Dogs on Steam?
Yeah, it's on Steam. It was on Steam before. The problem with Watch Dogs when we were in China was Watch Dogs, you had to use a Chinese server in order to play the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't that it wasn't there, it was that you had to use the Chinese server.
Yeah.
Now that we're here in Mexico, you could probably go ahead and just play the game.
Because Watch Dogs looked interesting too.
Watch Dogs is I don't know. It's I think from what I've seen and heard, it's like it's a little bit mankind divided, a little stealthy, but then you can get to a point where you get assets that allow you to never put yourself in harm's way and still get things done and stuff. So, and some people said they played it that way, and then other people said they played it where they had to, crawl through the air ducts. You know what I mean? It's like you get to choose kind of how you want to play. This new Assassin's Creed kind of forces you to be a lot more stealthy than because you don't have really good fighting abilities at the beginning. So you learn to be more stealthy, and then you go on a thing where it's like you've got to go in and get this thing, and nobody can know you're there. What the hell?
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. Stealth games are hard.
Yeah.
Like, I think the hardest game where you had to be stealthy for me is Hitman. It's the hardest one. It's the most difficult thing because you're not just trying to hide. Because if you always hide, people get suspicious of you.
Right, you're hiding in plain sight.
Right, you have to.
You're a spy.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing for me because.
Basically, you got to stay on the move.
Right.
But you have to plan about an area that you've never seen before.
Yeah, and that sucks because like games where it gives you kind of an option like Far Cry, you can be stealthy, you can be undetected and do an entire outpost that way.
Yep.
I've done it.
Yep. You send in other people.
Right. And even in like 4.
Son of a Seabiscuit. Not gonna walk back over there.
Even in Far Cry 4, when you couldn't send in anybody and you couldn't send in like an animal or something, I've done
you got
entire
to stop talking
outposts.
when you know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Back to me and Ray over here. I am Ray. Are you Stevie?
Is that the movie?
Oh yeah, if you haven't seen that, you should see that.
I haven't.
Ray is the name of the movie.
Oh.
All right, so basically you were saying that something.
Oh, I
You were
was
saying
talking
something about something. All I know is it went and I had to get up and run away.
So in Hitman, it's harder because you have to be in plain sight, and if you're not, people get suspicious and they start looking for you. And in like Far Cry or Dishonored or like Deus Ex, you don't have to do that. You kind of can run in and kill everyone if you wanted to. But
I haven't been able to do that in Deus Ex yet.
No, I haven't gotten past the tutorial because that just sucks.
I haven't been able to run in and just kill everybody. Even though you're supposed to have abilities and you're supposed to sort of be able to do that, I haven't been able to do it.
You have abilities, and I think I got past one of the tutorials and it let me kind of go for a little bit, and I got into a big room with a bunch of guys, and I'm like, okay, what is this ability? Because it didn't tell me what my abilities were. And I hit it, and I ended up throwing out grenades in a circle, and I was hiding behind a thing, and just explosions all around me. I'm like, didn't want to do that, but now I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Because it's not really meant for you to, at least where I am, it's not meant for you to
use that ability.
Right, to be like Far Cry where you can just whip out a gun and just start shooting.
Right.
It's not really meant for you to do that.
No, it's meant for you to be stealthy.
Maybe you can do it later on in the game, but I don't know.
I think it's meant for you to be really smart and selective in how you fight and who you fight. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has a bit of that where you can target a person and then go right after them and then change your target and go after them. Because I started to play Odyssey yet today. Like, you'd have somebody in front of you and you went after them. And then as soon as this guy walked up, you like hit him like 2 or 3 times and you turned and you started hitting the other guy. Much like you had to do in Doom. Because if you didn't, that guy was going to be hitting you as you were hitting the other one, so you needed to bounce back and forth.
That's one of the things that is difficult to manage by yourself in for honor, because you, like I said before, you have troops that are just low level guys that you can't really engage. You can just kind of mow them down. But then there are bigger guys that have the stances and stuff, but they're still low level and you can take care of them pretty quickly. But then when you get to fighting someone who is on your level or more than your level, then all the little guys will start ganging up on you, and you kind of can't get away quickly. So then you have to either fight this person in front of you, or stop engaging them, turn around, and just do a big attack that takes out a bunch of them and keep going.
Yeah.
But then that other person can then attack you.
Yeah. That's what's happening in this game. So it's very sounds like the similar mechanics because
it's still Ubisoft. So.
Well, it's similar mechanics
Yeah.
in like when the group comes as opposed to when the one is there. Yeah.
And some
level up, man. Gotta level up.
Yeah.
All right. So level up.
And some classes are better for taking care of crowds because they have like a really long axe or a spear or something. But then like guys with swords, you have to get closer.
So we're gonna need something for our people, for our Twitch people. We need music.
I'll make a thumbnail.
We need thumbnails. Because the mommy thumbnail that was made earlier, I'm no.
Yeah,
I don't know if the mommy thumbnails for gamer chats is not a. I don't think that's gonna work out well.
No.
We need edgy. We need hard hitting. I mean, we're talking about games where people die.
Yeah.
People are killed.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
I'll make.
I don't know. Do we need to tell anybody like where we are? I don't even know where we are anymore.
All of the traveling forest stuff is
Well, that's
there.
the traveling forest. We're not the traveling forest, are we? We're half.
We're a subdivision.
A subdivision of the traveling.
Like the growing up expat.
We're a subset.
Yeah. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all Professor After 25. It's all the same.
Yeah, I'm not telling you mine.
That's it.
Look in notes.
Yeah.
There's you can follow the FARs down there. It's all down there.
Yeah. There you go.
Down below.
If you want to see my artwork, go to DeviantArt. Yeah, I'm Prof Raptor there. That's the only one that's different. All my social media.
Just look down there.
Because I couldn't. I don't think I could do. I don't think I could make my name. Like, it was too long. Professor Raptor was too long.
Okay. So there you go.
It's in the description.
We're done. It's time to eat. Down in the description. Say goodbye to the people.
It's in the description. Bye.
Oh God, he's gonna do. Oh.
Nope.
Shortwave today.
Yep.
Cool.
Just
Peace. Two fingers.
goodbye.
Just goodbye.
Not goodbye.
Just goodbye.
No.